Hey everybody, it's Greg Rice. We're here in the Bucket, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and the city of Providence did something that I've never seen before. I've never seen a number like this before. They fined a landlord for maintenance issues, violations, and the amount is $324,456.80. Right here. Property in Providence. And I think court costs of $156. So what is this? Right? This came up during the title search. So we're getting ready to close the seller. That is our client. And we're assisting them with part of that transaction. And we get an email with this attachment. And it says, final judgment. This action came on for hearing September 29th in 2020, 2 years ago. Judge Igliozzi presiding, and the issues having been tried and a decision having been rendered, it is ordered and adjudged, blah, blah, blah. So that's, that's a big chunk of change. And I said, well, what is it for? We don't know about it. The owner doesn't know about it. What is this for? So I read on. There's 5 different things that were inspected in 2017, 5 years ago, that caused this to compound. And what it was, this first one is the owner didn't have lead certificates on file with the city. We have lead certificates. They just didn't have them. Count 2, second floor, make all windows in the unit weather tight. There's some that are older, there was a draft, fix them, balance them, straighten them out. Count 4, actually, I'm sorry, they got rid of count 3. So count 4, repoint and refinish walls and ceilings to this unit. There was some scraping paint, some of the horsehair plaster, etc. Okay. And then count 5, second floor again, electricity to bathroom, which has been done. So these 4 things turned into $324,000. I think that's a little bit excessive, right? Do you think that's fair? Do we have record of us being served even with these notices? Or the landlord being served? What I think happened was that these notices were delivered to the property. And obviously the owner doesn't live on site. This is an investment property. So they probably got pushed aside underneath, the Stop and Shop circular and junk mail, and nobody opened it because they're not that person, right? They're not going to open mail that's not theirs. So this is a mess. This is a nightmare. And frankly, these are not issues. The window, paint, and electricity have all been done, right? We probably did this 5 years ago during the turnover when we didn't even know that these were issues. And then the lead certs, every property technically in Rhode Island before 1978 has to provide lead certificates to their authority having jurisdiction. But do they, right? And how often are they requested? We do them quite frequently just to have them on file. But if you go down any street in Rhode Island and just pick off 10 houses, I can guarantee you 9 out of 10 do not have lead certificates. So it's just very, I guess you could say, nitpicky to include these 4 items. And frankly, we don't even know about them. So what happens now is we're going to meet the city out there, and we're going to show them that all these things are done, right? They've been done. We didn't know about it. And hopefully be able to negotiate this down. To what number? I don't know. But all I do know is that if the landlord didn't have us in place, the property manager, this could get ugly, right? He could lose virtually all of his profit. He might have to go to the closing table with money. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a politician. But I just don't see how $324,000 for these 4 items is justified. You see in the news yesterday, and today being October 20th, that contaminated soil was dumped on the 610 connector, right, in Providence. And their fine was $1.5 million. This is a quarter of that. Same city, different jurisdiction. That was U.S. Attorney's Office. This is not U.S. Attorney's Office. But that was a major deal. You're taking contaminated soil from multiple sites in another state, too, and then using it to construct a new bridge where families and schools and people walk. And then this one is a quarter of that fine for not having lead cert, window doesn't close, peeling paint, and electricity in the bathroom. How is that even possible? So somebody please let me know how a $324,000 fine is applicable. I'm very, very curious to know. And also, let this serve as a warning that you can't ignore those notices. Now, we didn't get them, otherwise this would have never happened. But if you do get them, and they do come in the mail, make sure you attend to them. Do not ignore them, because what happens is, yes, they go on the title. And no matter how trivial or small they are, or irrelevant in your mind, they can hold up your closing. It can cost you money in fines. It could blow the deal entirely. It could make you have to give the buyer credit or spend money before the closing to fix it if you haven't fixed it. So let this serve as a staunch reminder that the city needs to be taken care of. And what that is by virtue of your maintenance. Do not neglect it. Even trash outside, high grass, all of these things can pop up on the title and blow the deal. Violations are no good. And if you have any questions, let me know. And again, if somebody can tell me how that number is warranted, I'm very curious. Once again, Greg Rice here in the bucket, your property and your fines managed.